Hello everyone, I'm Nick Barth.
Yes, and I'm Matt Pepper.
And we're both sales engineers at MicroStrategy. We're veterans of many a MicroStrategy World. It's always a glamorous location.
And hopefully there's always a good party.
But this year was a little different. First, everyone was invited. Everyone was welcome, and the glamorous location was wherever you happened to be.
And the party in my garage was not as exciting.
We hope you managed to come along to some of World.Now as it actually happened, but we know there was a lot to take in. The great thing is it's all still there online. Have you managed to take a look yet?
Maybe you've been saving yourself, or you just weren't sure where to look or where to start. So Nick and I have created a best of about 10-15 minutes worth, and hopefully you can have a look.
It's like a show reel of all the best bits.
I mean, there was a huge amount to see, to be honest. And maybe if you're like me and you want to find out all about the cool applications that our customers have built, or the techniques that the experts have used to make their stuff really fly and make it look beautiful.
Or you could be like me. You're always looking for new ways to plug MicroStrategy into data, applications, new environments. We know what it's like at these events, to find yourself walking the corridors, wondering what to go and see next. Only this time, the corridors are virtual. So let's be your guides.
So many videos, so little time. Shall we get started?
And why not?
On the front end, the channels that probably focused are the business intelligence, analytics, embedded, and hyperintelligence. So some really good channels specifically on those.
And then on the back end, there were presentations on MicroStrategy's approach to cloud, data management, administration, as well as workstation. Don't forget workstation, and automation.
Yeah. Plus, there were many right at the top. There were many customer stories that we've picked some of our favorites because I think there's some really, really good ones there. As always, the two keynotes at the top went on about the state of the nation, the address, and we'd always recommend you to have a look at those. Fong and Hugh set our stall as a company, while Michael and Jyoti gave us more of a fireside chat with insight into the virtual wave. And Tim Lang's keynote covers much of what's new in MicroStrategy 2021.
New for 2021, there was a track devoted to Bitcoin, which attracted a huge audience and a vast amount of interest. MicroStrategy as a corporation is something of a pioneer in taking our treasury into the cryptocurrency. And a lot of people have been asking us how we did it. This track is aimed at anyone, an individual investor or a corporation with an interest in Bitcoin.
And the keynote sessions, of course, always end with great customer stories. So both Pfizer and Disney ABC offered some really compelling justifications about putting intelligence everywhere. So, Nick, what if you've watched the keynotes? He says, removing the screen. There we go. There's Nick. You've watched keynotes, you're up to date, but you're hungry for some more detail on the MicroStrategy platform. Where would you recommend folks to go to?
Well, look, I've always been a fan of mobile. MicroStrategy has always been about getting intelligence into the hands of everyone in an organization who needs any kind of information, even if it's just, 3 numbers on a phone. MicroStrategy is still #1 for mobile. If you've not already, you need to go and see mobile dossiers for iOS and Android.
That was your session, wasn't it, Nick? I think it looks very much like you.
Well, look, that's no reason not to watch it. Besides, it was very much a team effort. Great support from tech and from marketing. MicroStrategy 2021 is advancing library for mobile dramatically this year. Imagine building a great dossier for a web user and then have it work on a phone without any changes, offline as well as online. So rolling out intelligence to colleagues in the field, people on the street, people in warehouses or in stores just got many times easier and quicker. I'm a big fan of the scrollable canvas. That's the big thing. So just swipe up for more insight. Take a look. It's going to be great for users of phones because swiping up is so much more natural than swiping across. Anyway, Matt, what's your first selection?
Yeah, well, it's kind of a partner to that. My one is based upon library. So once again, all of that stuff that we've just been talking about with mobile, library is the container that holds it all there. I think it's really, really good. You can see Holly Stevens talking about library here on 2021 and scrollable. I like also the fact that you can have a dossier that you can hide something. So if it's on a mobile screen, you'll use that estate properly. You don't have to build a brand new visualization or brand new dossier to do so. So I think that's really, really cool. And then Amy goes into a lot more detail on how to create compelling dossiers with the new interface. Some really, really good movements forward looking at this. I'm quite excited, and it's, I've seen some customers already build some fantastic things just within 2021.
Okay. Well, look, that's a great start, but one of MicroStrategy's best strengths is how easy it is to embed intelligent content into other applications. And I believe that was one of your sessions as well, wasn't it, Matt?
Yes, it was, because actually we are not just promoting our own stuff, but as we're the ones doing all the hard work here, why not? So yes, this is something that I built, which is a web page which has got MicroStrategy embedded within it. There's so much to do within here. It's fantastic. You can embed GIS, so from geospatial things, it resizes because it's within a HTML5 container, and you can embed hyperintelligence using our SDK within it. There's so much to do within it, and having an electronic card. Oh, he's a good, attractive young man. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can add into the embedded stuff, and we've got some customers and use cases in this one to explain how good it is.
So we know that many of you who come to World regularly are actually running your platforms. One of the reasons why people select MicroStrategy is that it's a proper enterprise software platform, not a desktop productivity tool on steroids.
Yeah, we could name names, but you know who we're talking about.
Absolutely. Putting intelligence everywhere means not being encumbered by limits, brick walls in terms of data, content, users, applications, and that means easy automation. You know what I always say about business intelligence, don't you, Matt?
No. Please tell me, Nick.
Yeah, well, no, what I always say is business intelligence is about automation. I can walk into a meeting room and I can draw a chart on a whiteboard, but it takes automation to get that insight that I've had out to everyone in the enterprise. Enterprise administration track covers a lot of topics, but if you'd like to see our direction of travel with respect to administration, you really need to take a closer look at Workstation. This year sees Workstation growing into the one tool to rule them all. It's getting closer to that one-stop shop for running your MicroStrategy deployments. If you want to know more, check out Morgan Jones talking about Workstation for architects and administrators. Okay.
And I'll just skip through to the next video that we're going to carry out. Now, this one in particular, I thought was quite good. When we're talking about backend, access to data is another area where MicroStrategy is pretty much the best platform on the planet today. If you want to see all the ways MicroStrategy can touch your data, I recommend you take a look at the Enterprise Data Management track. I like Talhaus Zafar's session on MicroStrategy for data. He covers all the cloud data options from AWS and Azure to GCP in all about 25 minutes. And I think Nick has a guest slot at the back of this one as well. So, keep out for him. Not that we're plugging our own stuff, you understand.
Yeah, I'm going to innocently say I forgot all about that. But it was such a busy day. It was very hectic on the day. What I'm also going to say is that everybody is talking about cloud. And we've seen a huge take up in our cloud offerings in the last 12 months. It's just been amazing. The really important thing to remember is that there's more to cloud than simply installing a virtual machine on a server in AWS and Azure. Remember the day you realized that AWS, Azure, GCP, they're operating systems?
I'm not sure I follow you.
Well, look, it's like these environments are one big supercomputer, And each of us gets to construct a virtual data center in that huge virtual world, and then you get to run it.
Sounds very much like the Matrix, but I thought cloud was for people who wanted to get the running out of their own data centers. That's pretty much what it's for, isn't it?
Which is exactly why MicroStrategy Cloud is taking off in the way it is. We offer a genuine choice to get out of the business of running your own data center for business intelligence and get on with creating what your business needs. There's a 15-minute session by Chris McNabney, Adrian Gonzalez, and others, which summarizes why MicroStrategy Cloud is not just MicroStrategy in the cloud. It's all about what you need to know to build a business case for MicroStrategy Cloud.
Okay. Right, Nick, I think we've heard a lot about MicroStrategy on MicroStrategy, but what about what our customers have to say? He says, seamlessly transitioning to the next video in the background.
I'll wait for that to happen.
No, I'm done. Go on. I'm going to leave that in. I'm going to leave that in because basically I think people need to see that we are doing all of this on our own without some mass studio.
Yeah, Matt's doing very well here.
We'll see.
You're going to ask me what my favorite success story presentation is, aren't you?
Yeah, it's okay. We're allowed to have favorites. Yeah.
Well, the last 12 months have all been about public health. I think we can agree on that. Yeah. My favorite customer success story is about the NHS Glasgow Control Centre app. It's a fantastic example of how the NHS have used MicroStrategy to make people managing a huge complex health system in Scotland even smarter than they were already. We had to give Callum Alexander from the NHS a customer award for this one. There he is. There's Callum.
Yes, congratulations, Callum. Well done. Right, so we talked about embedded intelligence earlier. We have so many customers who have embedded intelligence into their own products. So I love this session here from Computer Aid Inc. It boils down to 17 minutes, and what it really showed to me was the seamlessness from an end user's perspective, the jumping from one system to another with hyperintelligence as well, but from dossiers into their own system. And it's all about embedding that technology and the value as opposed to just the technology behind it. And I think that was fantastic.
Here's another great one. Hyperintelligence has been our fastest selling product since we released it. I watched this great presentation by EasyBuy in New Zealand. They use the entire MicroStrategy suite, but this session focuses on Hyper. Again, the pandemic has been a real game changer for retail. It's focused them on online channels and models. EasyBuy is a catalog apparel retailer with a great website. And hyperintelligence allows their digital merchandisers to see everything they need to know about a product they're looking at on that site without having to leave it to look at a dossier or a report. So they can stay in the environment that they're managing, and information pops up in front of them about the promotion that they're going to organize or the stock levels and whether they have that stock to support what their next action is.
Cool. Okay, there's one more I want to put in. I'm just going to switch screens here. There we go. So yeah, I mean, this is another must see for people who, one of the hardest topics, the enterprise semantic graph. People in BI will understand what it is, but the why it's important to businesses and the differences. This is something that I would highly recommend. It's one of the slightly longer ones at about 45 minutes, but I think Laurent and KW did a really good job of explaining from a more technical perspective, but also to the value why our enterprise semantic graph is so world-beating and number one.
Okay. So now let's turn to the customer awards. We also need to congratulate 2 UK customers on their presentations. We've already heard about Callum Alexander at NHS Glasgow and Greater Clyde, but also thanks and congratulations go to Gordon Burns for his great presentation on HR analytics at Scottish Power. We were proud to recognise both Callum and Gordon with our customer presentation awards.
Yeah, well done to both of you. I think it's been fantastic, and good representation from the other side of the pond. So well done to both of you, and mostly Scotland, to be fair.
It's true. So we were blown away by the number of you who came along to World.Now. and the number of people who are still dropping in to watch content today.
Yes, and if you came along to this unique event, thank you. We had 22,000 people right at the beginning, which was kind of mind-blowing. If you've been thinking that you should come back and catch up with some of the recordings, we hope we've given you, a bit of an idea where to start and what to look at.
So if you'd like to watch any of those videos again, please scan this QR code and we'll get links to all of the content that we talked about straight to you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. Hopefully this has not been too long. You can get back to your Zoom and Teams meetings and running to go to the loo every 5 seconds in between those meetings.
Thank you. See you back here soon. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.